John, I mean, the unannounced party inspections, the animal welfare and food and feed hygiene, what do you do on a farm for those?
Well, on an animal welfare inspection, we'll basically inspect all the animals on the farm, see that they're healthy and well cared for. We'll be just checking to see they have adequate feed and water, that the housing is good, that there's adequate natural lighting and ventilation in sheds. In relation to calves, we'll be checking that they're well bedded at all times. Small calves should not be kept in isolation. They should be able to have contact with one another. And calves greater than 8 weeks old should not be individually penned. They should be kept in groups with reasonable group sizes.
So, I mean, what do you look at for in the calf housing?
Well, we look at the calf penning to see that the calves are housed in dry conditions and basically that they can have some element of contact with each other through bars in the pens or similar.
And what about older animals then?
Again, we'll be checking that the housing is well bedded and clean, that scrapers systems are working properly, that there's adequate light and ventilation in the building, and there's proper feeding and water arrangements.
So, I mean, this straw-bedded shed, what do you look for in here?
Well, this would be a typical straw-bedded shed as found on most farms. We'll be just checking basically to see that the shed is well bedded, that animals have plenty of room to lie down and feed. If there's drinking bowls in the shed, that water is supplied and that the bowls are kept clean from feces, etc. If there are meal troughs in the shed, we'd basically be checking that they're not contaminated, that they'll be kept cleaned as well.
Yeah.
Also that there are no harmful materials in the shed like sharp edges or broken gates that may be harmful to animals. We just look to see the farmer had a facility to keep an animal in isolation, be it a sick animal or a reactor animal that had gone down with TB or brucellosis.
And how many isolation boxes do you need if you save 100 cows?
Well, one isolation box or two should do you, you know.
And what about issues like tail ducking?
Well, routine tail ducking has been prohibited on farms since late 2007. In relation to dehorning and castration, we'll be checking farmers' records to make sure that he's used anaesthetic where necessary when carrying out these operations.
So from a feed hygiene point of view, I mean, you'd be checking where all the feed is stored.
Yeah, this is an ideal storage arrangement here where the farmer has a grain bin and it's very secure and there's no risk of contamination. Ideally a store should have doors on it that it's secure, that you can exclude birds from it. There should be no risk from chemical or physical contamination like sprays or possible leaching from chemical fertilizers or batteries left around. If you have medicated feeds that would be used to feed pigs or poultry, they should be kept separate from ordinary feeds for cattle and sheep. I mean, there should be a vermin control plan, basically, like bait points outside the store somewhere, that vermin will be kept controlled.
So will the farmer have to have that vermin plan and have to write down where the bait points are?
He should have a plan, yes, to indicate where bait points are.
So, John, under the welfare and food and feed hygiene, what farmer records will you be checking?
Well, in relation to feed, generally we'll check all invoices for feed that's been purchased onto the holding to see that they're coming from registered suppliers. We may check pesticide records that the farmer has used on his homegrown crops. In relation to veterinary, we'll generally check the medicine cabinet to see that all the product there is basically approved product for usage. We'll check the farmer's remedy records to see the products he has used and that he has observed withdrawal periods for those products. Now, we'll just generally check to see that the dairy is isolated, that there's doors that can be closed, and we'll have a look at the bulk tank to see that it can cool milk down to generally 6 degrees or 8 degrees, depending on whether it's daily or every second day collection.
So you check the temperatures there. And do you look into the tank?
We would have a quick look, yeah, just to make sure that the internal surfaces were clean.
And we'll go to dairy, see what you're doing there.
Okay.
So, I mean, during milking, John, what would you normally do?
I would just observe generally to see the cows are in good clean condition coming into the parlour, that their teats and udders are clean before milking, that there's no sign of disease on their udders. Basically we'll be checking if there's an animal that is being treated that they actually have a marking on them that the farmer can identify the animal, and the milk will not go to the bulk tank.
So it shouldn't take too long?
No, it shouldn't take too long.